many
stop,
times.
won't stop.
I've tried so many times. It just nothing works.
When the producer sucks up to the host. Oh.
Well, their bill is due this week, so. All right, guys, we are. The stream is up. I just got to connect the chat and test sound, so we'll be starting very soon. Anyone who might be joining the stream right now, hey, we always appreciate a share. This is, after all, the best bipartisan black political talk show. Wait, we are the only black partisan political talk show on the planet Earth. Support this show, goddammit. Share it. Comment below. We want to hear your comments. We'd love to hear what you have to say. All right, we'll be starting soon. Say, can we get a sound test from TC really quick?
Check, check, check. Can you hear me at all?
We got you. It's all good. Thank you. All right, guys, the show is all yours. Ready to go.
Welcome to Black Republican, Black Democrat. We're on CP time tonight.
We are.
I'm your co-host,
we're
Jamar.
on such CP time. We on Africa time, man.
Yeah, you ain't like Zamunda.
Zamunda. And I'm your other co-host, AK Kamara. What's up, bro?
You are you're a host.
Well,
the
host with the most.
Well, I don't know about all of that.
I mean, you've got it going on. You got this floral. We got the floral background.
Yes.
You know, I'm just wearing this dusty old Naruto shirt.
Well, I tried to, I got kids, so they try to keep dad
fresh.
hip. Yeah, try to keep dad hip. I got my Rockports on tonight.
I ain't got that.
Under the table, got my rock. Well, actually, I kept them off. That's the truth. No.
I'm wearing my patriotic slides this evening.
And what makes them patriotic?
They're red, white, and blue.
How's
your week been, bro?
It's been busy. Been really busy.
Last couple of weeks, actually, man.
Has been really busy.
Yeah.
And thank God for that, because idle hands, and if you're working, you're not dead. And I don't work for free, so means I'm making a little money.
That's good, man.
But it's been busy, man. Because now, tomorrow's the 1st of September, so that's how you guys know that this is in a rerun, because it's all 31 today. And tomorrow is honestly the official, the kick-in start of the political holiday. Right?
Yeah.
Season,
yeah,
not
season
holiday.
No, that's you start going into full on drive, right?
Especially after next Monday. Next Monday is Labor Day, and then that Tuesday, bam, you're gonna be seeing. Not that you haven't already been bombarded with the political ads, you're gonna be bombarded with quite a bit more now, because your local officials and your federal officials, candidates are running, and they want to get your attention.
They're gonna be door knocking, trying to collect that data. I think early absentee voting in Minnesota starts in the middle of
September 18th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, September 18th.
So you can have all that going on too, man. It's been crazy. The last couple of weeks for me, I've had another successful op-ed that was published. I do stuff with Project 21.
Yeah.
I'll contribute to different stories. And I've had 2 op-eds published. in national newspapers, which is awesome to me. My TikTok, I hit 50,000 and then I crushed right past it. I'm up to 63,000 followers on TikTok.
I would be that if I was to do it.
Yeah, you would, but you're just not TikTok aficionado, man.
No, I'm a little busy.
You are a busy dude, and you're more busy than me, and I'm a pretty busy dude. But yeah, man. So it's been a lot, some good weeks, man. Just keep on churning, keep on trucking, man.
It's because this goes into the midterms, and then you crank up for more local elections. Then all of a sudden, the presidential election starts kicking into gear. Actually, after November, the presidential election will officially start kicking into gear too, right?
Yep.
Trump by then will announce that he's running, and then Uncle Joe will keep up his brigade of assaults on the Republican Party. Now, I love this fiery dude. I love this fiery dude because that's who he is.
This is who you like.
That's who he is.
Why hasn't he been like that?
Well, I think that he wanted to, again, because he's such a moderate, I think that he wanted to continue to be seen as such, right? But I think that he knows that, look, you've got to light the fire on the Democrats and independents and some Republicans to turn out for us, to vote for us in November. And so I think that it's starting to look that way. I think that you guys thought there was going to this red tsunami, excuse me. I think that's probably looking like maybe a small tropical storm that may happen because
a category 2.
Yeah, like category 1 or 2. Yeah. I think real bad downpour. A Miami downpour. Because I think that the abortion issue has galvanized, and I think that now you see a lot. Even you will have to admit, AK, that you see a lot of Republicans running from the issues of it. You got them taken down. You got some of them taking it down off their website and not talking about it. I think that, again, the economy is turning around. Gas is going down. So, absolutely. I mean, Minnesota, we have the lowest unemployment.
I want some of what you're smoking, bro.
Well, you sure can. I think I brought it too, by accident. But you, I just was with folks yesterday talking about it. People are starting to notice it. Things. Not only that, consumer
price index.
I think so. I'm sorry. I seen them on Monday. The price of groceries are going down. So things are going down. So by November, I think. But see, here's the thing. We know that it'll fluctuate. For holidays it'll go up. Blah blah blah. But all in all, it's going down. AK. So it does take the steam out of Republicans' talking points. But what Democrats have got to do what Joe's doing. Got to do a better job of selling to people what you have done and how things are turning around.
So all of what you painted is probably one of the most insane things I've heard come out of your mouth ever on this show, because I think right now Joe's had a bump. I would say in the last 30 days he's had a bump. His approval rating went from the lowest it had been for any president in the last 30 years.
Trump has the lowest.
No, I'm saying his aggregate total was lower than what Trump's was. And the last time it was that low was Bush in 2002 or something like that.
Never heard that one, especially when Trump never had an approval rating.
No, I'm just saying his aggregate approval, aggregate. That's like taking all the polls, not just one.
Well,
you can't just cherry pick
Trump's
one poll.
aggregate was never above 50%.
That's correct. It was not. But my point is that Joe's had got so low, and now it's been kind of...
Said 46%.
44 as of today.
6-4. What's the difference?
Well, there's a difference.
The fact that it's going up, it's going up,
but
because people see the things turn around.
He's had a little bit of a pause, but I think that this rhetoric that he's starting to kick off, and he's going to have his Heart of America or Soul of America speech tomorrow. I think that that's something that most independents hate.
No.
They absolutely hate it.
No.
And the way that he is painting, he's not just going to say, if you're, one of the QAnon folks, right? I love QAnon people. I don't think they're dangerous at all.
You do?
I do. Because it's entertaining. It's entertaining to me. It's not that I believe what they're saying.
Well, say that then.
But I don't think they're dangerous people. But
they are.
You have...
Come on, bro. The shit that they believe is very dangerous.
It's not.
Yes, it is. They believe that Democrats are all pedophiles.
I don't think that ideas can be dangerous.
Really?
You have ideas, and that's just what it is.
So it's okay. It's okay to go, but it's okay to go around spreading falsehoods, very serious falsehoods about someone.
Of course, because you're entitled to have your opinion, even if it's a stupid opinion. But that's my point. My point is that Biden, if he wants to put those people in a category or whatever, go after them. Go after the people that actually entered the Capitol with malicious intent. But for him to paint such a broad brush and say all of these MAGA Republicans are violent and dangerous, I think that kind of rhetoric isn't going to play well. It's good for his base. Right. It whips up his base. It does. But his base, that's not how he wins. He wins with independents. That's how he wins. And independents aren't like, yeah, like these people are dangerous. Now,
I don't know which ones you're talking to, but they did.
I'm saying looking at
the Wall Street Journal. You're not a liberal rag. The Wall Street Journal just again over this last week, he is winning back independents. I didn't know that they lost him. But if you want to say that
he lost them by a lot.
Okay, I don't think so. But so his number one independents are better than even the sample race with the sand.
That's before he started this rhetoric.
So then, if he started this, what you're calling rhetoric, which is all facts, was what he's saying. Because again, how do you condemn? It's crazy, AK, that you guys were anti on black folks and on Black Lives Matter about trying to when they wanted to end the police. Yet it's okay to want to in the feds?
Okay, the Black Lives Matter is a political organization. Okay, actually they're not technically political, but that's not a party. Okay, he's going after the party. He's going after Republicans that supported and voted for Donald Trump. A lot of BLM people probably don't even vote. So and if they do vote, they vote kind of a smattering between independent and Democrat. But he's going specifically after MAGA Republicans,
as well as he should.
And I think, again, it whips up his base. But
no, those are dangerous people.
Okay, so I'm dangerous?
Well,
I'm a MAGA Republican.
You might be one. Well, then I feel bad for you.
We've had MAGA Republicans on the show. I just
yes, and I can't wait till you get back. I can't wait till you get back the guy that's running against Walsh. I'll be nice. I won't call him what I want to call him. Because I think you all think that the right thing to do is to turn into what Donald Trump wants you guys to do. Instead of thinking about country first, instead of putting party aside, you guys always think about what would Trump do? That's how the Christians would wear the what would Jesus do bracelets. Y'all wear the what would Trump do bracelet. Yeah, what would Trump do? Right? That's what y'all would want because y'all are too afraid.
Honestly, that's not what MAGA Republicans are about.
They're dangerous. They think that the Capitol riot was a tour. It was what did the Republican guy called it I don't even remember what he called it, but you don't think that it was
well, the people that entered the Capitol were rioters for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But we for sure don't call it an insurrection.
It was an insurrection.
It definitely was not.
It definitely was. They tried to overturn the damn vote, stop what was going on.
Who did?
What do you mean who? The folks that entered
how many people? The 100 people that went in?
Oh, it was more than 100.
Without guns?
Oh.
They were trying to
Oh, they didn't. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you watch TV? Because
I'm serious. There was no guns. None of the people that entered the Capitol building had guns.
Yes, they did. AK. The black guy, the officers that seen them, she should have. Yeah, as he should have.
As she was climbing through the window, she was not armed.
She was breaking in.
She wasn't armed.
She was dangerous.
Okay, fine, but she wasn't.
Excuse me.
She wasn't armed.
Oh, okay. So somebody breaks in your house, AK, because he's not armed. He breaks into your bedroom. You're not gonna shoot him?
What?
You're not gonna. You didn't hear what I said? So a guy breaks into your bedroom.
Yeah.
He's not armed. You don't shoot him?
How do I know he's not armed? If I know for a fact.
So this was accuse me about you. You got an excuse. So how did he know she wasn't armed? Because she was breaking through the window. How did he know it was in that big ass backpack or in that big old coat that she had on? How did he know?
We're not talking about whether or not it was a justified shooting. I said that no one entered that building with guns.
Yes, they did.
No, they did not.
They did.
If you listen to the January 6th commission,
listened to them.
They specifically said no one that was arrested had a
Please find that for me because that's not what they said.
No one that was arrested in the Capitol had a firearm. There was people outside. There was a handful of people that had
so the weapons that they had, so you say they didn't have guns, which they did. So the weapons that they went around grabbing metal pieces and things like that. So the weapons that they found and walked around with and threatened to kill people with. That's okay. Oh, they didn't have guns, but
So I'm saying if this was this violent insurrection where they
that's violent.
The government, I'm saying
that isn't what they were going to do.
To do without a gun is insane to me. But
okay.
I wanted to ask you, like 100% serious. We've had this raid on Mar-a-Lago, right?
Yeah.
FBI went in. We're there.
It wasn't a raid. It wasn't a raid.
9 hours.
It wasn't a raid.
So what do you call it when the cops came to your house and they busted you in the head? What you call that?
That was an illegal raid.
Okay, but you call it a raid.
Here's the difference. What?
Here's the difference.
Yeah.
They
They didn't call my attorney. They didn't tell my attorney. They didn't contact my attorney a month prior to coming in and ask for papers from
They
me.
didn't tell them when they were coming.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did,
Not
AK.
when they were coming. No,
Excuse
they
me.
did not.
Yeah, AK,
The day that
yes,
they
they
showed
did.
up, they
And
came
not
out
only did they tell them that not only did they call ahead and say that we're on our way,
They did not.
they rang the bell. They had escorted in and lied to when they got in. They still withheld the information, withheld evidence. It's crazy
They
because
came
you think
unannounced.
it
They
is,
came
bro.
unannounced.
I can't
When they
believe
got
I can't
there-
believe how brainwashed you have become over Trump.
Let's be completely candid here.
Should
They-
it? So
they can't
it's
just bust in the door,
you're
Secret
mad,
Services there.
but it's
You understand
okay.
that, right?
But you're one of the same ones that wanted Hillary hung for her misusage of what she did. But yet
wanted
it's okay
Hillary
for this
hung?
guy to take this top secret information.
I wanted her to be investigated, and if there was enough information to charge her, they should have charged her.
And guess what they're
And
doing
then
with
say
this guy?
hang her.
And guess what they not Hillary, boy.
Okay.
Here's what they're doing with Trump.
Yeah.
The same goddamn thing. He did was illegal.
Was Hillary the president? Was she the
Bro,
vice
why do you,
president?
bro? I don't. You are really
I'm
you
asking-
are a
I'm
Trump
asking-
Republican
no,
for
I'm
real,
asking
which is
what the
sad.
precedence
But
is here.
it does. Excuse me. She was Secretary of
It's a
State. She was
former
Secretary.
president
Secretary of State.
And she did not have her home.
She did not-
She did not have a warrant served in her home to come into and take her property. That did not happen with Hillary.
Well, what happened then? What happened to her?
She turned over all of the files, and when they looked through the files, they said, "Hey, there's all these things that don't make sense." That's what happened.
Oh, they didn't go to her house and get it. You didn't see that footage though.
They did not do that. That's not what the FBI did with Hillary Clinton. They did not go to her home.
Read her book then.
What do you mean read her book?
Read her book. There's plenty of excerpts about how they took it.
I find it interesting.
Yeah, I find it interesting too how you
That-
never
that you
how
think-
everything
you
happens to
think that the
Trump, you
president-
find it shouldn't have do it to Trump.
You don't
But
think
if it
that's
were a
the president?
Democrat, you would be sitting here talking about he had no business having that.
As the president, you don't think that sets a precedent that you're going to go into his home?
I think everything he did bad sets a precedent. Yes.
I'm saying the FBI.
That's what I'm saying.
And we're talking about this rhetoric about now Joe Biden saying that Republicans are dangerous. My question is there a point in which you think that maybe those at the top that are currently in power, which are the Democrats, should maybe turn the dial down a little bit, or do they just keep
Did
pushing
you
hard?
say that? Did you say that all 4 years during the Trump administration? Hell no. So no, turn it up. You know what I want the Republicans, I want the Democrats and the president to do? Turn it up on y'all's ass. Turn it up on y'all's ass. Because what he's doing is telling the truth, and it's about time that he got out of the damn basement, that he got out of his moderacy and start telling the truth about what Democrats have been doing for this country. Because what you guys do is justify every damn thing that happens to Trump. But if it were a Democrat that did the things that Trump was doing, you guys would want this guy investigated and jailed, which is exactly what they're doing fairly. Dude, they called ahead. They didn't kick down the door. They didn't illegal do anything. They got let in. It wasn't in the no, they did not.
Yes,
No, they did not. No, they did not. No, they did not. If they came, and here's the other thing.
And then when they got to
but
the
you're fine with
compound-
Trump's own lawyer telling him, you can't keep this. You can't keep this sensitive information, Mr. President.
The president has the power to
No, he does not. See, that's
declassify.
exactly what you and Fox thinks.
That's not
He
what
does
I
not.
and Fox
He
think.
does
It's-
not.
It's quite
He does not.
literally his power.
No, bruh. Then we would not have a case if it was in his power to
Yes,
take.
you do have a
No.
case. You want to know why you have a case? It's because they dispute that he has that power. Okay, but he clearly has the power.
He does not.
He does. If you are the president of the United States, do you not
Excuse
have
me.
the power to
Excuse me.
declassify
You do not
anything?
have things that are given to you, such as that. You do, bruh.
You are the-
Why are
you
you
are
playing
the
so
commander-
naive? They got on Nancy Reagan for taking for fucking statues.
Nancy Reagan was
She can't
not
take.
elected.
You can't take anything. The White House is not
not
theirs.
elected.
Do you understand that? They're not, bruh. It doesn't matter. So so excuse me.
Yeah.
So if Melania had have taken it, it's different because she's not the president, right?
No, she's not. She doesn't have the same classification status. She can't declassify because she's not the commander in chief. She's just the spouse of the commander in chief. I'm saying the president has very specific powers of what he can do. And when you actually boil this all down, the National Archivist has had beef with President Trump because they believe.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. Like, you can actually go to the National Archivist website, go look at the PDFs of the letters that they've been sending Trump, saying, you
Return
need to give
it.
us that.
Yes, return
Right.
this.
And
It's not yours.
Right, and he's saying, I don't care what you say. You're the National Archivist. I am the former president, and when I was president, I declassify this information. And he has beef with them, and that's perfectly
You
fine.
can't take what
But
happened.
that referral went to the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice is acting on that referral from the National Archives.
As they should.
And this is all political garbage.
I know, right?
I'm just saying
because it's Trump.
Because
it's
he
your boy
disagrees.
Trump.
He disagrees
right.
and says,
Yeah.
I have the
'Cause he's
power
wrong.
to declassify this.
He-
I
'cause he's wrong.
declassified it when I was president.
'Cause he's wrong.
And I have these documents. And I think that you might see an indictment. I hope not, because
I hope you do.
I think that this country is already at each other's throats, man. And
Because of you, because of people that think like folks like
does
you.
it take two to tango or not?
Actually, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Because you can dance by yourself. You can actually dance by yourself. Here's the thing. It's because people
Not
like you
tango.
that have gotten brainwashed by. You guys are deranged. You guys have the deranged
I
syndrome.
can show you all of the proof, though. You're
What
going to
proof
tell
can
me
you show me that the DOJ has? You don't know.
the criminal referral came from the National Archives, okay? It's a very simple...
Because it's illegal for him to obtain the way, bro. You seen the very picture. Can we put the picture up, please? You seen the very goddamn picture that they put up of classified information that he is not supposed to have. No president should have that.
What do you mean no president can
The
have
people that even, excuse me, they had to get 2 and 3 different clearances for the FBI to even review it.
You know, the president is the literal commander of all intelligence apparatus because we, the people, elected.
Oh,
He
when he's
literally has the power to see
so he
everything.
still has all those powers when he's not president?
If he declassifies it before he
No.
leaves office,
No.
100%
No.
he does.
No, he doesn't.
Yes.
No, he doesn't.
Yes.
That's why
if
he's
he
gonna get his ass
declassifies it
indicted.
before he leaves.
No, did we put the did you producer? Did you put the picture up?
Yeah. I did just put it up, but I'll put it up
Can you
again.
put it up again for us?
Yep.
The picture
Look at
of the stage paper
Oh
on
yeah.
the floor.
Well, yeah. Would you not lay it out? Yeah, to show what the hell you gotta kill me. Y'all are some.
I mean, listen, just because someone takes a picture, did they have a video walking in undisturbed from the moment that they walked in?
Oh yeah,
until
like
they
you and
got
Fox
there?
will say they planted it, right? Okay, OJ.
From the guy that says that the police do some very shady things. I'm just
And then,
saying,
wait a minute,
does this not
from the
seem
guy
very
that
likely?
says the police are good and that you can't prove that stuff that the police do because, excuse me, aren't you the same guy that said racism does exist unless you can prove it?
Yep.
Well, they proved it to you. What he did was illegal.
No, they
That's
just
what
took a picture and they shared it. That's
Yeah.
all they did.
Okay.
It doesn't even have
Hey.
any context.
It absolutely does because what he did is wrong and illegal. And it's sad, that, bro, that you won't wake up and understand. But again, if this were Joe Biden,
Recording in
if
progress.
this were President Obama, if this were any Democrat, you absolutely would not be saying that, AK. You'd absolutely be making a case. No, you wouldn't. You would absolutely be making a case of how illegal what they did. What did illegally did Hillary Clinton do for Benghazi?
She deleted and destroyed.
She did not.
Yes, she did.
She did not. Let's
She
bring
did,
it.
and they said that her intention, and that's why Comey didn't charge her.
Yeah, pay the bills. Pay the bills. Yeah, because she did not. Pay the bills, please. She did not.
So, after you've been listening to our opening rant, maybe you're thirsty, like me. You have a little bit of cotton mouth. And let's say that you're anywhere near North Minneapolis. Where are you going to go, man?
I would suggest go to the Weber Mart.
The what?
The Weber Mart.
Why would you go Weber Mart, man?
Well, it's a one-stop shop for all your convenient needs. When you need any goods, eggs, bacon, anything you need, and even postal services and friendly smiles and services. Yes, at the Weber Mart, 4401. I can't think of what the avenue is on. We're gonna put it up in a second. I get the address.
But yes, please stop by the Weber Mart. Kevin is the owner. He's a supporter of the show. And without sponsors like him, we wouldn't be able to make the show happen.
No.
Also, if you've been thinking, maybe you need a change, maybe or at least you're curious about opening up your own business,
Especially if you're Trump, you probably need a new line of business.
please consider reaching out to Dennis Smith. He's a newer sponsor of the show. Not new anymore. I think he's been a sponsor for about 3 months now. But consider giving him a call. He's with Smith Law. He actually wants to help us bring together civility back to political conversation. I know that we get heated when we have these conversations, but at the end of the day, Jamar and I, even though he thinks I'm a MAGA Republican bad guy,
You are.
at the end of the day, we always knuck up. We always dap it out, and we still believe that it's important to have this political discourse. So reach out to Dennis Smith at dennis@smithlawmn.com, dennis@smithlawmn.com. Again, when you're starting a new business, you have a lot of questions about what you have to file. He can help you make that happen. Or give him a call at 612-889-3971.
Yeah, I think you know, our listeners are already at it, and I think what Kim said is exactly right. And I asked that very question of you. You know, like, why do you excuse all of Trump's wrongdoings, criminal
I
actions?
don't.
Yeah, you do.
You have to prove that they're
And
criminals.
that they're proving it to you. You
They're
don't.
allegations.
You would not. It,
I
you
say
would
that for
not.
everybody. I
You
say
would
that all
not.
the time.
You don't
I
care.
have to prove it.
You
You
don't
have to
care. And let's
prove
figure out.
criminal.
They are doing just that. And that's because I asked tonight's guest if he thinks the same thing.
I guess tonight.
Tonight, our guest is. How do you refer to a guy like this? I mean,
I call him TC Pearson.
he's a badass.
He's a enigmatic character. He's an all-around political rabble rouser.
There you go. That's the word I was looking for. He's a political rabble rouser. Welcome to the show tonight, TC Pearson. Welcome, TC. What's up, bro? How are you?
I'm good. I'm not on. Oh, there I. Oh no, off-screen producer. Off-screen. Off-screen. Oh, gee.
Well, you did look in the mirror, didn't you?
I've been looking at this face for 51 years.
Well,
bro.
shit, you another 40 minutes won't hurt you.
We can't all be Spike Lee's knockoff cousin.
That's true. Whenever we find him, you know, I'm more like, I'd be more like, you know, Billy D. Williams. You know, I'm handsome like that. I'm fine like Billy D. Williams. Get it right. Get it right. So welcome to the show, though. You know, I've been trying to get you on. I hear a lot about you and the AK. Now you know AK.
No.
Oh.
AK did not talk me up.
Well, he rabble roused you up, and so, you know, here you are. No, look, because you kind of like, you know, can I say, you know, more like a Republican, you know, pariah, because like now they don't like you as much, you know, because of, you know, things that you said about the party. Because are you a former Republican?
I am not politically affiliated officially. If I were to, somebody were going to try and lump me into a party right now based on what they know about me, they would probably try to lump me into the Republican Party. I have a lot of hesitance, and no offense to the esteemed AK, he knows me. I have a lot of hesitance saying I am a Minnesota Republican, for sure.
I would too. I don't know. Bless your heart.
Well,
you say that now.
Well, TC, let me ask you, man. Tell us a little bit about you. You know, what it is that you do, and maybe a little bit about how you came to be involved as a political rabble rouser.
My show, Minnesota Black Robe Regiment.
Wait a minute. Say your show again slowly and enunciate. What is it?
Enunciate.
Yes.
Minnesota Black Robe Regiment.
Okay.
It's a historical take. I had somebody ask me if I was a Jesuit, and I'm like, no, bro, that's Catholic.
If you was a Jezebel, what that? Oh,
Jesuit.
Oh, okay.
Jesuit, yeah. And I said, no, that's Catholic. I'm about as far from Catholic as you can get and still be in the Christian camp. So, so it's a takeoff of the days leading up to the American War for Independence. The churches were very much an integral part in the fight for liberating the colonies from the tyranny of the British Empire of King George. And there were preachers throughout what we now euphemistically refer to as the New England area, especially, but even down into South Carolina and other places, who were preaching against the tyranny. And they, after the Great Awakening and the teaching of guys like George Whitefield and Jonathan Edwards and their preaching, these pastors, predominantly from a Reformed or Protestant perspective, led their churches in that. And many of them ended up leading their men into war. In one case of Reverend Muhlenberg, he finished his sermon quoting from Exodus, saying, for every time there's a season for peace and a time for war. And then he stepped out from behind his pulpit and dropped his clerical robes, and underneath it was the uniform of a colonial army officer. And within a half an hour, 100 men of his congregation joined him in enlisting in the military, in the colonial military. And that war actually in Great Britain ended up in the English Empire, became known as that damn Presbyterian War. King George hated the Presbyterian influence, the Christian influence, because the people of that time, they fought with dignity and they fought with honor, and they fought with tenacity. And he just couldn't stand the fact that these people couldn't be swayed from their view. And so when I started the channel, I'm like, well, what do I want to do to capture that mentality, not in a sense of violence, because they really didn't want to go to war. They sued for peace many times. They tried to settle it peacefully. They really didn't want to break away from Great Britain. They just wanted a better representation. And I said, oh, Black Robe Regiment. And I said, well, Minnesota, because I didn't know anybody in the state at the time that was even really aware of the Black Robe Regiment, which was, there again, a euphemistic way of referring to them. And so April 25th of 2020, I launched the channel, grabbed my GoPro, and went out and started interviewing people at the protests that were at the governor's mansion, and asked them, why are you here today? What possessed you to, in some cases, 4 or 5 hours to drive 4 or 5 hours to come here and protest in front of the governor's mansion about the lockdowns? And that started it. And it was never really focused. The focus of my channel, of my show, and then some of the different series that I do is never about strictly Democrats or strictly Republicans or independents. The show is about tyranny, and the tyranny of the political class as it's directed at the non-political class. And so I have critiques of Democrats, here in Minnesota, the DFL, and I also have critiques of the Minnesota GOP.
Well,
and
so then, like, okay, so I hear you.
And you hear me or you hate me? Because I hate you a lot.
Well, no, not yet. It depends on, I'll let you know in about 20 minutes.
Tell Gabe to put me there. That's much better. So, I don't know what's up with my camera quality. I apologize. I've tried.
No worries, man.
So then are you Republican? Or are you Democrat? What are you? You independent? What are you?
If I were leaning a particular way, I would be a Mises Caucus libertarian right now.
What the hell? What you're an angry Republican. That's what a libertarian is.
An angry Republican.
Nope.
So the Mises Caucus, so they came into the Libertarian Party, and they've really tried to reshape the Libertarian Party because it kind of went off the rails.
No, they didn't try, AK.
They did. But the Libertarian Party had gone off the rails, right? Like
all Republicans go off the rails.
No, the Libertarian Party, like the actual party, right? They had gone off the rails, and the Mises Caucus came in, and they've been able to get things back on track, and they're probably gonna.
So if you that mean you would caucus with Republicans then, right?
No.
Libertarian.
So if you have a libertarian that runs as a Republican, they'll caucus as a Republican.
Yep.
Ron Paul is a perfect example of that.
He calls himself a libertarian.
He's a libertarian, but when he was in office, he was a Republican, and he caucused as a Republican. But he was also alienated by the Republicans.
Oh, not very much.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
No.
Yes, he was.
In 2008.
Yes, he was. The Republican.
Sure. The same guy that was just a month ago on Fox talking about how he thinks that they planted evidence on Trump. The feds did.
Rand Paul.
That guy.
Ron Paul?
I'm sorry. Which guy did you say? Dad? You're talking about the dad?
He said Ron Paul.
Okay. Same thing. I don't give a shit about either one of them. They're all the same.
Ron Paul was barred from speaking at the MNGOP convention in 2008. So.
You heard him speak. It sounds like Daffy Duck. But listen. So if you kind of lean Republican, right? Well, because I think
I'm a constitutional originalist. It's just been the Republican Party has been the place for me for quite some time, but I was actually in my Republican Party leadership in my county, years ago, and I started to watch it drift then. And I
Far
walked
right.
away. No, not at all.
No.
No, the Republican Party is nowhere near far right, and at all.
Oh,
They're not.
let me see what's in that ashtray behind you. Because what the hell are you smoking?
I don't have any ashtrays. I don't smoke, bro.
Oh, something's going on because you talking about they're not far right. What
No,
party?
the Republican Party is nowhere near far right, and the Libertarians aren't far right either.
Okay. Well, no. So look, I totally disagree. So okay, I guess I
That's
find
fine.
you.
It's your show. You're allowed to be wrong.
True, I know, right? And I'm allowed to have folks on that are wrong. I know that's what I do all the time. So look,
I know, but you had to bring me on to correct all the wrongness.
well, tonight you haven't been doing a good job so far. But so I guess I find you in the middle because you find some Republicans that'll hate things that you say. But now I saying that you
a lot of them right now.
well, I mean they're ignorant. But look,
AK is my buddy still.
he's like the
I like people.
He's the epitome of what a good Republican should be.
I can be friends with Marxists, libertarians.
You don't know any of those people.
MAGA folks.
The MAGA folks are dangerous.
They're not. I can be friends with everybody because
they're dangerous.
Because people are people, and I don't believe that ideas are dangerous. I believe actions can be dangerous.
Ideas turns into actions that are dangerous.
They don't always turn into actions.
Yes, they do.
Jamar,
you're telling me every thought you've ever had has turned into an action? The majority of your thoughts don't.
You're sure right.
Are you a Second Amendment or a First Amendment absolutist?
I'm an absolute black man that happens to be Democrat.
But your party affiliation should have nothing to do with it.
Sure it should.
Where do you? No, absolutely not.
Sure it should.
No.
In
the founding fathers had no desire to see a two-party system, let alone a multi-party system. They had no desire for that.
Which is why they always had Republicans and Democrats, right? Whether you call it the Whigs or whatever you want to call it, it was always Democrat and Republicans.
The founding fathers' desire was to never have a two-party, let alone a multi-party system. They wanted a system of people who were regulated by the Constitution.
They also wanted to keep Negroes enslaved too. But so listen, I see that you're hanging with Jesse. Now that's my favorite. That's my favorite governor so far here of Minnesota. I mean, the guy did a lot of great things for the state. He was, I think, honestly, a no nonsense type of guy, and kept it
much better.
He kept it REAL with people up. It gave money back too as well too. Republicans should take notice of that. So, what comment?
I have a really good way for us to not have to worry about giving money back.
How do you
stop taking it from us in the first place?
Well, true.
Taxation is theft.
Well, true. Please, you sound like Royce. Stop. Not tonight.
Who's Royce?
Not tonight. Just do a little history of my show. You'll figure out, but not
Royce
tonight.
White.
So what do you guys? What's the commonality between you and Ventura?
I am the MC of an event that Jesse is going to be one of the keynote speakers at, and that is the Defend the Guard rally on September 10th at the state fairgrounds. No, please do not show up at the state fairgrounds for the event. That's at the state capitol. It's Defend the Guard rally on September 10th, and it is a non-partisan. It is not a bipartisan. It is not a unipartisan. It is a non-partisan event. We are inviting every elected and every candidate for office in the state of Minnesota on up to come in here. And certain people from different parties, the three major parties in Minnesota, which would be the DFL, the Republican Party, and the Libertarian Party, have been invited to speak. All of those parties and others. Even
what Democrats are going to speak?
There are Democrats that are on the list to speak.
You know any of them? Are there any big names?
Yes.
Who?
I don't have the list right in front of me right now.
But it's some big name Democrats.
There are some well-known Democrats.
Okay.
Yes, and the governors, both gubernatorial candidates, 3 gubernatorial candidates have been invited to speak.
Will they be speaking?
And here's why this is,
Will they be speaking?
If they accept the invitation.
Have they got? I mean, no confirmation from any of them yet.
No.
Okay.
No. Quite frankly, the 2 main party candidates are running from it, in my opinion, because they're both parties are war hawks. They're full of neocon or neo-war promoters. They love to send our boys and our girls now off to fight illegal wars that should have never been fought for any reason. There hasn't been a war we fought since World War II that we should have been involved in.
I mean, listen.
Period.
So if you want an argument for me, then you're not gonna get that tonight about that shit.
Like, anybody wants to argue with me on this, then they're gonna have to argue on the philosophical ground that it's okay to murder people of other countries.
Well, he wouldn't because he's
advance
pro-life,
imperialism.
right? You're pro-life, so you and me are making that argument.
Yeah, I mean, in regards to when our troops get deployed, I think we have to be able to protect them and defend them as best as possible. But deploying them, I think I've become far more like we gotta watch our own bobber first. We can't be doing this spread democracy thing. I think we tried it,
nation building and all that doesn't work.
Back in 2003, 2004, after Iraq and Afghanistan, I was brand new to politics, and I was kind of given some very compelling arguments about what it was that we could do, but once you go through 20
you weren't the only ones lied and suckered too.
It wasn't even necessarily the lies.
Oh, it was lies.
It was the idealism, that if we went over to Iraq and Afghanistan and we showed these people
gonna be greeted with roses,
looks like that they would want to emulate that. But the truth is that even if you come in, like right now, if aliens came down and they invaded the entire United States and they gave us the most amazing technology that could make us live for 1,000 years, we'd be like, no, you're oppressing us. You did this wrong. You came in and you're an occupying force, and I don't care how good the thing that you're selling is. You forced us to do things, and that's a good lesson to learn. But I do think that having endless wars and deploying our men and women to fight when it's not a specific and exact threat to us, and I'm not talking about, it could be a threat, like it has to specific, like these people are coming for us. We have clear intelligence that they actually are arming up to come after us, not like 10 years from now or whatever. I think that's kind of how we go. So I've completely changed my stance. I used to be very war hawkish.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you. Thank you, George Bush.
He's right. George Bush is a war criminal.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but
I would.
I've heard the compelling.
So was
arguments.
Obama.
Oh, I know. Trump.
Okay. Obama increased drone bombings.
He did.
He killed thousands of civilians.
Yeah. He did.
Listen.
And U.S. citizens, actually. That 16-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, without due process.
Yeah. And I'm
going to give you guys, I'm going to give your audience 3 books to check out. I'll give you 2 books.
Yeah.
Enough Already by Scott Horton, who is the other keynote speaker at that event. He is the director of the Libertarian Institute, and he runs antiwar.com. He is not a long-haired hippie pot-smoking freak who takes baz and patchouli and dresses in open-toed sandals and covers his home in sandalwood and sage burnings. He is
a very vivid picture that you painted.
I too.
Well, yes. I am nothing if not a consummate wordsmith.
So he's not
Scott
that.
Horton wrote a book.
Is he a former military or something?
No, he is a scholar on history and about American interventionism and American imperialism, and he is the second speaker. I'm going to tell you from my perspective, and Bull Johnson, who is not the founder but the main organizer for the event on the 10th. I told him I personally think that Scott's the key keynote speaker.
Sure.
Jesse's going to be great. I think I have no issue saying that I believe he's going to have some great input, but Scott's going to bring the fire. Scott will bring the heat, and he will point out what I believe are probably things that most people have thought but haven't had the temerity to actually say. And he covers a lot of that in a couple of books, one of them being Enough Already, A Time to End the War on Terrorism. And he goes through and he breaks down how the United States calculated everything leading up to the war on terror. and how they played and manipulated, both parties played and manipulated the American people into supporting this war. And that it's been nothing but a travesty of justice in the world, that every single person, no matter their political philosophical leanings, should get behind, is ending these wars. And then the other one that I really wish people would dig into beyond that, and I want to make sure I get the title exactly right, so bear with me here for just a second. It's called Lords of Secrecy, and it is about the American intelligence and secrecy state, and how they have managed to take over the man. I love your producer.
He's the greatest. So look,
do you ever work for free for other shows?
Not at all.
You got to pay him.
You should probably help get those guys on whose books you're plugging on now. Thank you. Help them get us on, get them on. But check this out.
Not until they're on mine first, bro.
Well, you know, don't plug the show on here. Check that out. Look, but check this out. Weren't you a former CO?
I was a sworn deputy in a adult detention center for a sheriff's office in Olmsted County. Yes.
What's the difference between that and a normal
correctional officers are pretty much strictly at the state level. Detention deputies are not patrol deputies, but they are employees of the sheriff's office, and so we work under the auspices of the sheriff's office.
But from a functional standpoint, were you doing the traditional duties of a deputy sheriff, or were you specifically assigned to the detention center?
I worked inside the detention center, which is actually the only constitutionally required position of the sheriff in the state of Minnesota.
Interesting.
So so you worked inside of a prison? I'm guessing, right?
An adult detention center. It's not considered a long-term housing facility.
How long are people there?
Jail, a year and a day? What's it? Shakopee? What, year and a day?
Boy, I can't speak to where all of the rules and regulations are on that right now, because when I walked away from the career field, I kind of gave up on some of it. I just stopped paying attention.
But it was the people that were there for months, or
there could be people that could technically be there for longer than a year or more, depending on how hard they're fighting their charges and whatnot. But once they're adjudicated as guilty and sentenced, they could only do a certain amount of time, and at one point that was a year.
So here's my point. So you've seen a lot of things go down in jails, prison, adult detention centers that were illegal, were just disgusting, right?
I would say that for the most part, I benefited from working with a very professional group of people who, as deputies, were very good at maintaining professionalism.
So wait a minute, I hear you. Okay, TC.
I
does that mean you didn't see nobody get their ass whooped? You didn't experience corruption. I mean, you're acting like Fred Astaire tonight. Listen.
No. You're asking me to tell you if I saw corruption. The corruption that I saw was in the criminal justice system.
Okay, so you didn't see any, you didn't hear, you didn't experience it in the prison system as a sheriff deputy, or
I never once, while I was on duty, ever personally was involved in or experienced anything that I would consider to be mistreatment.
That you would consider. So again, can Craig come around and say you kicked his ass? Or, I mean, what does that mean? That you consider it?
No.
Well, I mean, I'm being serious. What do you mean?
No, I appreciate the question. No, I never, ever. Now, did I ever deploy a chemical weapon on someone? Sure.
Out of spite or what? Because you felt like you were really from I mean, why?
No.
Because you seem like a really straight up dude. So I'm like, hearing you.
Well, I appreciate you saying.
You don't sound like the typical. I don't mean to refer to you as CO again, but the slang of sheriff's deputy that would because again, bro, we know the experience of a lot of inmates when they get out. They talk about the mistreatment that they experience, not only from the prison, the institution itself, but then from the guards and from the COs and deputies and things of that nature. So I mean, to have you on, that's why I'm asking those questions.
I don't dispute that there are bad detention staff or jailers or COs? Sure, absolutely. There absolutely are.
So you never seen nothing where you would later on after you seen them again, I don't know, whoop somebody's ass or
No. If I had ever witnessed somebody do something like that to someone, I personally would have intervened.
you would have.
Absolutely.
So if you were an officer 2 years ago and you were seeing what happened to George Floyd, you would have been an officer. You would have pushed him off. You'd have intervened in some kind of way.
You're damn right.
Really?
Absolutely. Even if it meant my death, if it turned into something like that,
you would have pushed him off him or something.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now I'll tell you that George Floyd didn't just simply die because of the knee on his neck. There were a lot of things going on in that situation that
there were some mitigating circumstances, absolutely.
That I saw right away. I'm like, okay, I'm seeing excited delirium in George Floyd. I saw what appeared to be excited delirium, and the reports from the scene all bore out excited delirium.
Well, you also now again, excuse me, if you
that doesn't make what happened to him okay by any stretch.
You're right. So again, I'm glad we kind of brought it up. So I'm saying, so if you engage some inmate doing something illegal, and then you see him ingest the drugs, now do you tackle him, take him down, and do what was done to George Floyd, or do you, as a mandated reporter and someone that's supposed to save the life, report that this guy this inmate ingested the drugs and try to resort to saving tactics? What do you do, or have you ever been in that situation?
We would have immediately summoned emergency medical services. If we witness something like that, we're not equipped to force something out of somebody's body. But in that situation, even if they saw him swallow something, which I understand that they didn't, they were suspicious that there was something going on because he was acting oddly.
Yeah.
And what I saw in Derek Chauvin, and I said it the day that the video came out, I said, this is murder.
Thank you.
That day. I said it that day.
Thank you.
So let me ask you this. You mentioned something interesting.
That happens on occasion.
Okay.
If anybody doesn't know, AK and I moderately know each other.
Just a little bit.
I'd say tangentially. You reached out to me on Facebook for something. I think you were the moderator of like a group or something. I was trying to post something. I can't remember. And that was like how we kind of like first connected. You had seen one of our episodes, and we kind of chatted for a while. And then because I'm, MNGOP faithful, I do Deputy Sergeant at Arms. And so I was doing Deputy Sergeant at Arms down in Rochester for the state convention. And I saw you outside.
Should have been the Sergeant at Arms. You would have done a better job.
I do not want that job or responsibility. Here's the type of guy that I am. I like to blow into a place, do what I got to do, not have to worry about being in charge, because you don't get paid enough, you don't get enough accolades, and everyone whips you. So, Bob Olson, if you're hearing my voice,
you suck.
You live to be 95 years old, and you never stop being the Sergeant at Arms, because I don't want that responsibility or duty. I just want to be able to show up and be cool.
Anyway.
So TC, so again, okay, so check it out. So the rally is called what?
The Defend the Guard rally.
Defend the Guard. That's the National Guard that we're talking about, right?
Yep. The principle of it is we're looking for legislators or people who are currently legislators or people who are running for office to get behind sponsoring a bill that will require the state to intervene and say, before our National Guard troops get sent anywhere, Congress at the federal level needs to step up to the plate, and if they want to send our boys and girls off to war, they need to declare war so that they're on the hook for that decision.
Interesting.
Because right now, all they do is rubber stamp whatever president is there, whether it's Bush or Obama or Biden or Trump. They just rubber stamp it. You want your boys and girls over in Ukraine right now?
Nope.
I don't.
You want your boys and girls fighting a war that we created? Because we created this war.
Sure.
We overthrew a legitimate government in 2014. We overthrew the legitimate government of Ukraine, installed allegedly friendly Western-leaning people.
Look what we got now.
And
look what we got now.
Yeah. and now we keep trying to bring them into NATO. I don't think Putin should have invaded the Ukraine the way he did.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
But I'll tell you what, if China all of a sudden started trying to put military bases in Mexico or Canada, you damn sure we'd do something about it.
Yeah, we would. You know what, man?
Right?
We're running low on time. I wanted to kind of get to this question. You had mentioned you've seen a lot of corruption in the criminal justice system.
Absolutely.
And you also mentioned that when you saw that video, you're like, this is murder. So for me, here's what I say is that maybe you can clarify. Do you believe that saying that something is murder until someone's been proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt by a jury of their peers is okay to call it murder? Or do you just mean like to you it looked like, yeah, this dude's definitely going to get charged, he's going to be found guilty, but you would reserve calling him a murder until that happened? So that's number one. And then two,
are you asking me for the technical definition of murder?
No, I'm saying for you personally. I'm asking you personally, when you make that distinction, I know you said it.
When I see a murder happening, I can tell you when a murder's happening.
Sure.
And that definitely was murder.
And the reason I'm asking is because when you talk about the Robe Regiment, right, and we talk about the Constitution, right, we are innocent until proven guilty. Even if it looks like we're really guilty, you have that process. So I'm wondering, how do you separate those two ideas, right? That something might look like Marina's like, yeah, that's murder, but you're technically still innocent until proven guilty, right?
That doesn't remove my ability to have the opinion that it's murder.
Of course it doesn't. So you're saying it's an opinion of murder, but you wouldn't say, well, this person's a murderer.
He still deserves his day in court.
Okay, fair. I'm just curious, man.
Yeah, no, Kim Potter deserved her day in court.
Yeah.
She still murdered that boy.
Didn't I say I like you? I didn't.
I disagree.
If I didn't mention that I like because it doesn't.
No. I know it's your show.
You have the floor.
I'm gonna speak to my friend AK.
Yeah.
All right. She's a cop.
Yep.
She's trained to deal in high stress situations. You never accidentally draw a gun instead of a taser.
So ever. I don't like absolutes like never. Now I think that
no, you don't. You do. You as a cop, you don't get to make that kind of mistake.
You are a fallible human being. You are not a robot. You are not a robot.
That doesn't change the fact that she murdered him. That she didn't kill him.
And it doesn't change the fact that she's trained to know the difference. And the guy that trained her came and said,
murder is a legal standard versus as just like. She definitely killed him.
I'm speaking on a moral absolute.
Moral or not, she perpetrated murder.
So I'm speaking that
purposeful.
That if you
I don't say she did it on purpose.
If you have intent, right? And
she didn't do it on purpose, bro. I don't. But she never. In fact, she did it.
Sure. So
no, she didn't wake up that day and say, "I'm going to go kill this light-skinned guy." No.
TC, it sounds like you believe that law enforcement need to be held to the highest standard, which I agree. I 100% agree. I personally don't think that Kim Potter should have been a police officer. I personally don't think that Scott Jensen should have said he's going to commute her sentence on the stage of the convention either.
Well, because he's a pandering mutter.
That's fine.
So he came. I can't wait to have him back on. Please make sure you watch that episode so you can comment on below too, because he came out of a pretentious. He went in a guy that sat here really. I don't know if you call him moderate, really straight up dude. I thought,
he's not moderate. He's conservative. I said that he's conservative. He's just.
If you had heard the things that we talked about, I don't know. Okay, let's say he was I don't know what kind of conservative he was then, right? But the things that you noticed, TC, and the things that I seen now that he's talking about is really different. And you're right. He's just pandering, and now he's a right wing. You think that's what it's going to take?
That's what's so funny, right? So TC, I know kind of your story is that you talked to Jensen, you asked him where he stood on Second Amendment stuff, right? And
no, I tried to talk to him. I told him that I would give him the opportunity to come on and because I've been hard on him because
you should.
Because you talked about the Never Again pledge, right? And
I tried to talk to him about that situation.
Yeah.
I happened to catch people who were trying to talk to him, and the way he brushed them off offended me.
Yeah, and I get that 100%. And so the only reason that I bring that up is that this is an interesting point. So I would I would opine that you, TC, do not think that Scott Jensen is a constitutionalist or a right winger. But here, Jamar just said that Scott Jensen's a right winger. And this is what I find always so curious, is that the truth typically is that you might have issues that you disagree with this person on vehemently, but you can't paint them in a way to say that Scott Jensen is a right winger when people that are very strict constitutionalists are like, Scott Jensen is nowhere near where we need to be. He's a moderate or a squish. And that's so interesting to me to find.
But what's interesting,
because a constitutional originalist is going to be neither a right winger or a left winger. They're going to be a constitutionalist.
well, he's definitely not that.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
He's definitely not that. But here's the thing, AK, come on now, give credit. From the guy that was sitting here to the guy that's now.
He's the same guy.
I forgot you're in this camp. No, he's not.
No, I don't get paid.
He's
by
not.
Scott
No,
Jensen.
it's not. You don't have to get paid for him, but I mean that is a guy you're supporting.
Support him.
I mean,
I think he has good character.
He did have good character till he came out of the convention and they whipped his ass in the convention. And he knew he had to come out. He thought that, okay, I have to be Trumpish. I have to be more GOP.
No, he doesn't.
Shit.
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
We don't need a Trump as governor, and we don't need another Trump.
Scott Jensen is not Trumpish
listen,
at all.
He's talking just like him. He's talking just like him.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yes, he is.
If he was talking just like Trump, the conservative base that everybody hates so much in this state right now, and I mean the actual rocks and cows types conservative base, is hated in the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a guy who got an 80% endorsement in the state of Minnesota, an 80% endorsement for the Republican Party, and Kurt Dowd ran somebody against him because he's too conservative for the Republican Party. And this guy's a constitutionalist.
It's more, come on, it's more about money or something like that, or the power.
So here, I did want to, Jamar, I wanted,
sir.
if I could, sir.
Yeah.
I know it's your guys' show. I wanted to say.
No, you got 2 seconds. You got 2 minutes, though. Go ahead.
You brought something up about the FBI. Every single federal law enforcement agency should be abolished.
Oh.
Every single one. No,
now you lost me there.
No, here's why. There's only 2 laws. Only 2 laws that the Constitution gives the federal government the right to enforce.
What's that?
Devaluing the American currency and basically making war on your own country. That's it. We don't need federal law enforcement for that. We need to take the power away from the central government and put it back in the hands of the local government. And by local, I mean your local community.
I'm open to that idea.
Well, I was just gonna say, because when you go now, you were sounding like a bit of a Republican when you talk about give it back to the states. No. But if you're talking about local community who know how to police and take care of their neighborhoods, absolutely.
Every single law should be decided at the community level.
I mean, I don't know about every single law, but I'm almost agreeing with you that we need more community input, especially with these older laws that are on the books now. I agree with you on that.
Hey, TC, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. We are almost out of time here.
Sorry,
We'd love to have you back on, man. We had some great conversations. Like, I think we could get so much deeper into so many things, like for legit.
You are pretty deep.
I honestly, TC, I've listened to a couple of your different episodes, but I didn't know exactly where you stood on a lot of things, and you're more curious to me now, man. I'd love to have some deeper conversations on a future episode, brother.
You're pretty deep. Please come back. Will you come back?
Anytime you want, it just got to fit my schedule, and you got to start on time.
Well, true. Well, blame technology, and so have us on your show too as well. Especially if you have.
I would love to have you both on. I would. Awesome. That would be a blast.
We don't do things separate. We're like twins. I'm just a better looking one. Or like Danny DeVito. I'm like Danny DeVito. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm the stronger one.
I appreciate you guys having me on and being willing to listen. I know I sound strange because I don't fit a lot of molds.
That's why we wanted you on.
Tell your friends and family members and everybody to show up on January. You guys have January. Show up on September 10th at the state capitol at 1 p.m. It is going to be a day for everybody to get behind.
And not only that, do you guys, what days does your podcast air and the website? Can you tell us that real quick too?
YouTube channel is Minnesota Black Robe Regiment. My Twitter is @Robe Regiment. TC Pearson on Facebook.
Yeah,
I have a series that I do every Monday night called TC and Friends Monday Night Musings. I had the guys on for the disenfranchised roundtable a couple of weeks ago. Boy, has that gotten me some heat.
You love it.
I want people to start paying attention and getting back involved in their local government again.
Absolutely.
That's it.
No,
that's all I want.
No, keep it up.
And I want the Constitution.
Keep it up. No, keep it up, TC. I mean, time. Hey, man, you've been a great co-host tonight.
You've been a great co-host.
Oh, I'm always. I try to. Will you come back next week?
Promise.
Okay. You guys come back next week. I'm Jamar.
I'm AK.
Check y'all out next week, damn it.
Peace.
Appreciate you.